reading of the casualties, I'd like to welcome everyone here and who may be watching online via Zoom or via tape delay. You may see on the recording that we have a number of folks in our audience. We are observing social distancing, but we do have some family groups that have chosen to sit next to other, and that's all kosher and good. So nobody report me to the governor. So with that, I think we're excited, Mr. Posey. No military casualties. Is that true?
That's correct. We're very excited about that today.
Excellent. Thank you. First responder casualties, Chief Stegemeyer.
Good evening, Board. The following is a first responder casualty list for the period of June 9th through June 23rd, 2020. Firefighter Clayton Manning, Southeast Caldwell County Volunteer Fire Department. End of watch June 9, 2020. Corrections Officer Thomas Ogungabayer, Texas Department of Criminal Justice, Texas. End of watch June 11th, 2020. Deputy Sheriff James Blair, Simpson County Sheriff's Office, Mississippi. End of watch June 12th, 2020. Police Officer Dale Thomas Probbins Jr., Jefferson Hills Borough Police Department, Pennsylvania. End of watch June 13th, 2020. Wildlife Officer Julian Keene Jr., Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, Florida. End of watch June 14, 2020. Police Officer Destin Legizia, Brentwood Police Department, Tennessee. End of watch June 18th, 2020. Police Officer Michael Lee, Navajo Division of Public Safety Tribal Police. End of watch June 19th, 2020. Firefighter Russell K. Roberson, Leaguer Volunteer Fire Department, West Virginia. End of watch June 20, 2020.
If everyone could please join me in observing a moment of silence. Thank you. We have a couple of presentations. Very excited to welcome new officers and recognize the retirement of an officer. Chief.
Board, it's my privilege and honor tonight it's a new chapter for the police department, and we're closing the door on a chapter that's been around for a while at the police department, so we're getting a new and an old both. I'm going to start with Officer Matthew Berry, our new hire. Matthew has been here. He's actually been through his FTO period, so we're kind of putting this with this COVID-19 crisis. We're kind of trying to catch up to give him his formal recognition, but Matt's been with us now for about 3.5 months. But what I'd like to tell you about is Matthew comes to Miami Township after spending 6 years with the Marine Police Department. So he comes to us with some good experience. Prior to becoming a police officer, he was a military police officer in the National Guard. So Matt, thank you and welcome aboard. Would you like to step forward, please? Matt's here this evening with his fiancee, Mariah, his son, Kenny, Kim. Thank you all for joining. Mariah, could you step forward as well, please? And Mr. Noah, would you like to come forward to the oath of office?
Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio, Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio, and the resolutions of Miami Township, Montgomery County, Ohio. And the resolutions of Miami Township, Montgomery County, Ohio. And that I will faithfully, honestly and impartially, discharge the duties of my position as police officer for Miami Township. So help me God.
Congratulations. Welcome. Thank you for your service.
Step this way. You're not getting off that easy. Tradition that the new person always has to give a little speech to the trustees. Feel free.
I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to serving this community for as long as you'll keep me. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all.
Okay, now for the next. We've sworn in the new. Sorry to call you old, Dave, but come on up here with me. Come on, I'm gonna embarrass you. Come on up. So for the new guy gets one little bit of information. For Dave, I've got quite about 3 or 4 pages here, so bear with me. First of all, I'd like to introduce to you Officer David K. Ooten, or as we like to call him, 0010. Think of the name, OOTEN, 0010. Dave's here tonight with his family, extended family. Thank you all so much for being here. I'd like to introduce some of you. His father, Marion Ooten. Thank you for joining us. His wife, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Kids, Mike Ooten with wife, Amanda. And grandkids, Gabriel and Eli. Andy Ooten and wife, Mindy. Thank you. And again, grandkids, Dave, Emma and Jackson. And his 18-year-old daughter, Alex. Yeah, good luck, Dave. Good time to retire. Good time to retire. So thank you all for being here this evening. Give you a little bit about Dave Ooten. Where to begin with this? So let's start this way. Let's start with some career highlights. First of all, Dave was hired here at Miami Township May 8th, 1991. And exactly a week from today, June 30th of 2020, he will retire with 29 years of service to this community. Quite an accomplishment for anybody, especially this day and time. Congratulate you on that. 29 years anywhere is a long time to be. Dave spent his entire career pulling the plow. That means he was out in the trenches in patrol division. Never went to the detectives, never promoted the ranks. He enjoyed being in patrol, and that's what he did for 29 years. Again, a testament to his work ethic. During his career, Dave developed into an informal leader here at this agency. He was a great mentor. He spent a lot of time being a positive role model to all the officers here, and many officers are going to miss that, Dave, just so you know. Dave was a cop's cop. For those that are not police officers, you may not understand what I mean, but a cop's cop is probably the best and highest compliment anybody can give an officer. Everybody that's a policeman wants to be a cop's cop, and Dave, you exemplify that. You're not afraid to have gotten dirty when the times got tough. You've proven that time and time again, and I don't even need to go down that road. You know what I'm talking about. But at the same time, he had that unique quality of always having a smile on his face and letting those strangers feel like they were old family. Another unique quality, Dave. Couldn't miss that. Dave, even though you're always able to take care of business, there's something that I really have to commend you on. You understood the value of family. You never lost sight of that. Look forward, they're here, okay? So always remember that. Did I mention Dave was a cop's cop? Dave was a cop's cop. During his career, Dave received the following awards and commendations. 2019, he received the Miami Township Police Department Safe Driving Award. 2019, he received the Miami Township Police Department Life Saving Award. In 2009, busy year, Dave. Yeah. 2019, he received the Medal of Valor for the Miami Township Police Department. That was just 1 year. We'll go back to 2012, where he was Officer of the Year, which was given him this honor by the Montgomery County Police Chiefs Association. The whole Montgomery County Police Chiefs Association voted him to be the Officer of the Year for the entire county. Another big accomplishment. I was not able to find this year out, Dave, so maybe you can help me out. You received the Marine Police Department Award, and this came from you rescuing a police officer and an autistic child, handicapped child, from the river. What year was that? Do you remember? That old? Sorry, buddy. 1999. 3 separate times Dave received a commendation from the 100 Club here in the chapter in Dayton, Ohio. That is reserved for people that show extraordinary or acts of bravery during their career. 3 times. Impressive. Did I mention he's a cop's cop? Dave's a modest man. He does not like being recognized for his accomplishments. He never has. But there's one thing Dave is not shy about, and that's the love he has for all you family and the officers. He's always taken the time to stop me in the hallway, get me in the locker room, or come by my office and shoot the breeze. Sorry about that. Shoot the breeze. No. Shoot the breeze about just what's going on in his life. Dave, always appreciate it. Thank you. I've only known you for 2 years, but you've made me feel like I've known you for a long time. Glad I've had this 2 years to get to know you. You've taught me what it's like also to lead people of men of your caliber. So thank you for that. To you, Officer Dave Uten, I want to extend my thanks for your service to this community. You give the Miami Township people 29 years of your life, and for that, I wish you a safe and prosperous retirement. Administrator Hess, Board of Trustees, I'd like to introduce you, Officer David K. Uten. Over, Dave. No. You're right.
I prepared about it, but my wife told me I couldn't do that to you guys. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everybody, trustees, Miami Township, the 4 chiefs, great chiefs I've served under, and my family. So I'm going to do this. It's been wonderful, been a great career, great 29 years. It has flown by. It seemed like just yesterday I was getting up here getting sworn in. Wish everybody the best. Thank you so much for all the opportunities.
Those family members that are here for the celebration of our newest officer and the retirement of Officer Uten are welcome to go down and celebrate in the room and have cake rather than sitting through the rest of this meeting. So you're all welcome to step on out, or you're welcome to stay. All right, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris,
Aye.
Mr. Culp,
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
I have a number of items in new business. We'll start with Chief Stegelmeyer.
Board, I have one resolution for you this evening. Looking for the number for you real quick.
46.
Thank you. The resolution is for us to sell the service weapon to Dave Uten upon his retirement. Article 34, Section 1 of the collective bargaining agreement between the Fraternal Order of Police and the Miami Township Board of Trustees authorizes any union member who honorably retires with a service retirement the option to purchase their service weapon for a price of $100. I ask permission for the Board of Trustees to approve this purchase. Officer Uten has expressed an interest to purchase his duty weapon. I think it's only fitting after that much service to this community and to this police department that we allow this purchase. And if there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Mr. Mayberry, Resolution 47, 48.
Good evening, Board. I have 2 resolutions for consideration tonight. One to spend more money, one to hopefully save money. So hopefully they cancel each other out. Oh, my bad. So the first resolution is in regards to this year's asphalt paving program. Did experience a slight increase due to some unforeseen issues after the surface pavement was removed. But on the good side, we were able to pave an additional 6 streets this year because of the very favorable bid results. The second resolution is a resubmittal presented to the board last year. It's for a CDBG grant for Grange Run Park. This came to us about a week ago. I was unaware that this was going to be up for consideration this year because last year I did not receive notice that we were either denied or approved grant funds through CDBG for the 2 grants we had submitted, but we are submitting the park or the Grange Run Park grant for consideration this year, and the deadline is July 3rd to have all documents submitted for this grant. Any questions on either of those items or any other public works?
No, I'd just like to say that I appreciate the work that you guys put in on getting the pond. I think that's Miami View Pond project underway. So look forward to that.
Good. Mr. Snyder, you have resolution 49.
Good evening, board. We do have one resolution for you tonight, 49-2020. This is again pursuant to the work session we held at our last meeting regarding adopting a fee for community entertainment district applications. Again, this is not specific to any particular application that we have at this point in time, but this would cover future applications that we may receive. And again, this is a mandated review under state law. We're required to review these applications if we receive them. And as part of that, we do incur both legal, staff, and public advertising costs for the public hearings. So we are proposing a fee of $950. If that is the desire of the board, we do have a resolution for you to adopt that. So happy to take any questions if you want to discuss that further.
Seeing none, Mr. McCord, do you have resolutions 50 and 51?
Good evening, board. Yes, I have resolution 50 is a housekeeping measure for the public records training and open meetings law. Historically, we have designated individuals on staff to attend that training as they're the ones that will be executing the records requests. And we're doing that again this year to ensure we stay up to date on sunshine law and other requirements of the ORC. We're proposing that we send the 3 individuals who are primarily responsible for that, Erica Priest, Rochelle Shanks, and Julie Hunn, to attend on behalf of the trustees and the fiscal officer. The second measure is resolution 51, which is the resolution to acknowledge our participation in the distribution of coronavirus relief funds, CARES Act funds that were distributed to Montgomery County, that will be distributed through the local government funding model at the state level. And this is the formal legislation that acknowledges to the county that we will abide by the guidelines set forth by the Treasury. And any funds that are not encumbered or spent by the middle of October will be returned to the county for redistribution for those communities that may need additional funding. That, and take any questions, answer what I can.
How long is the training under resolution 50, and is there any cost to the township?
No cost. It will be online this year, and I believe it's just a few hours. So they've migrated to an online platform. It was a little clunky the first year, but it's not like it was in years past where you had to send people to Columbus for a day and a half and overnight stay and all that. So yeah, it's gotten much better, and obviously now no large gatherings anyway. So
very good. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have on a different topic. I was in a conversation with our new state representative, Tom Young, and he wanted to make sure that the township has refinanced any debt that we have that we could refinance. I assume Joe Robertson would come to us if there's something we need to do. But
there's a project underway right now. In fact, I had a conversation yesterday afternoon, and I'm supposed to have a packet sometime next week to begin reviewing. We just redid a chunk of debt in August of last year and lowered that. about $700,000 net present value on that. This, the next tranche of debt would be related primarily to the interchange from the 2010, because there's some restrictions on the 2015 debt. I don't think we can refinance that just yet. But yes, we are monitoring those constantly, and they're putting together a package for us to review and discuss. And it'll probably involve, because of the way that deal was done, we'll probably have to discuss it with the other entities as well. But it's very encouraging. I'll put it that way. They hadn't given me a final number, but we're looking very good. I mean, it's $20 million worth of debt. It's a good number right now. So.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions for department heads? We'll move into the public comment period. Anybody wish to come forward and make a public comment? Anybody online via Zoom that wishes to raise their hand and make a public comment? Mr. Hinkleman. All right. If the two individuals online decide they want to raise their hand and they're having trouble with technology, feel free to do that, and we will take your public comments. But seeing no one coming forward, we will close the live public comment period here in person. We will move to consideration of resolutions and motions. I will begin with a motion to approve Resolution 46-2020, a resolution to sell property to a retiring employee. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees authorizes the sale of a Glock service weapon with serial number BEYC 780 to Officer David K. Uten for the amount of $100 respectfully, and the sale is effective immediately.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
I want to make a motion to pass resolution 047-2020, resolution to approve an amended appropriation of funds for 2020. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees approves an additional $32,000 to the Gasoline Tax Fund 203. Other appropriation authorizes the Finance Director to communicate the amended appropriation to the Montgomery County Auditor.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 48-2020, a resolution to authorize the submittal of a community development block grant program application for township parks and to authorize the township administrator to accept a program award. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees, Miami Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, through sections 1 through 4.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 049-2020, a resolution to adopt a handling and processing fee for the Community Entertainment District applications. Therefore, be it resolved, the Miami Township Board of Trustees adopts a fee of $950.00 for the handling and processing of applications for community entertainment districts, and authorizes said fee to be amended to authorized fee schedules as necessary, effective immediately.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 050-2020, resolution to appoint designees to attend public records training on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the fiscal officer. Therefore, be it resolved that the Miami Township Board of Trustees appoints Erica Priest and Rochelle Shanks to attend public records training as designees for the trustees, and Julie Hahn to attend public records training for the fiscal officer for 2020, effective immediately.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion?
Mr. Morris?
Aye.
Mr. Culp?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to pass resolution 51-2020, a resolution to affirm that all funds received from the Montgomery County Coronavirus Relief Distribution Fund will be expended only to cover township costs consistent with the requirements of Section 5001 of the CARES Act. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Miami Township affirms that all funds received from the Montgomery County Coronavirus Relief Distribution Fund be expended only to cover the costs of the subdivision consistent with the requirements of Section 5001 of the CARES Act as described in 42 USC 601 subsection D and any applicable regulations and guidance only to cover expenses that Section 1 are necessary expenditures incurred due to the public health emergency with respect to the coronavirus disease 2019. Section 4, in Miami Township's most recently approved budget as of March 27, 2020. And Section 3 were incurred during the period that begins on March 1, 2020 and ends on December 30th, 2020. Further resolved that the Board of Trustees may take actions in Sections 1, Section 2, and Section 3 as required.
I will second that motion. Any discussion?
Mr. Morris.
Aye.
Mr. Culp.
Aye.
Mr. Posey.
Aye.
Mr. Hinkleman, we still have no one with public comments online. Very good. We will close the public comment period for the Zoom meeting. There are no public hearings. Would any department heads like to make any comments? Any trustees have any other questions for department heads? Seeing none, we'll move into elected officials' comments. Mr. Newell.
I have none.
Mr. Culp.
I have none.
Mr. Posey.
I have none.
I will just mention that we want to make sure everybody stays safe and stays well. Though we are going out of lockdown mode, we still need to be diligent and healthy. Our restaurants are still offering delivery and curbside pickup. So I've been to many restaurants in Austin Landing and the Dayton Mall recently and brought that food home. And it's just as good as home as it is in the restaurant. So if you're not comfortable being out and about, feel free to continue to visit those establishments. With that, we have no work sessions. We have no executive sessions. I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:27. Thank you all for attending.